Hey guys, welcome back to Real Housewives Recaps. Today, we are finishing up Revenge. I'm kind of sad to be finishing it. I have thoroughly enjoyed this. So I am working on the new chapter that was just added. It's chapter 44, Reconciliation Rejected. Now, unfortunately, it hasn't been super juicy. Remember, originally it came with 43 chapters. Tom Bower went back and added the 44th. I have not read ahead. I had heard that it has to do with Dorian, where she's been, but no mention of her yet. Instead, it's just more awful behavior, more details of awful behavior out of Hank and Skank. Either way, I'm here for it. Let's wrap this up, continue on, see what else they could possibly do, and discuss amongst ourselves. And since they're being so awful, I thought, let's look at some awful pictures of the two, because you know what? Serves them right. I love being petty. I do that for the Queen. I do that for our Catherine, right? So screw these two. Buckle up. Let's jump in. If you are reading along with me, I'm picking up on page 422. Again, bonus chapter. Okay. For the Queen's final journey, a slow march to Westminster on Monday, the 19th of September, Harry wore a mourning suit, walking behind the coffin, while Meghan was seated in a limousine with Sophie Wessex. Poor Sophie. Inconspicuous in the procession, both women were silently stony-faced, yet clearly Meghan had won. This is a direct quote according to Tom Bower. I'm going to say, not so much. Across the globe, being part of the funeral procession branded her, quote, as a member of the royal family. Again, not so much anymore. This image reinforced the credibility of her past denunciations, and there was more to come. Before the Sussexes departed unobserved for Los Angeles, no apologies were offered to the royal family for past acrimonies. The scene was set for a showdown in the Netflix series in Harry's memoir. Pending those events, Charles resisted bestowing the princely titles on the Sussexes' two children and retained the option of withdrawing the Sussex title from the couple themselves. Okay, this paragraph annoys the piss out of me because, again, we've been through it. I'm waiting for those titles to come down. I've been told by many of you, very in the know, that explain it's not something that just Charles can do. He has to get Parliament involved. I've heard Lady C where she says, rest assured, it's in the works. I'm trusting her. I'm trusting in my Lady C. I'll have tea with her one day and she can explain it all to me. But I am waiting for that day and I will be here celebrating with you guys. So according to Tom Bower, it was money that guaranteed Harry's memoir would be published after the Queen's funeral. Neither Harry nor his publishers could afford to bear the loss of the millions of pounds already invested in the project. And the publishers were helped by the reality that neither Harry nor Meghan were prepared to control their attempts at revenge against the grieving royal family for the sake of their careers and expensive lifestyle. So their tentative truce before the Queen's funeral was abandoned. Nice, huh? Those who speculated that Harry would dilute the text to remove the most offensive descriptions of Charles, William, and Catherine, I would say, and Camilla, would need to acknowledge that his book could only score commercial success with a healthy dollop of poison. That seems to be the couple's MO. There is no way that he would change a word of that bullshit. I don't believe a word of that bullshit, but he likes to pile it on, especially, while the others were going through this terrible loss, right? That's his perfect timing. Ugh, they're disgusting. Back in California, Meghan reignited her self-promotion campaign. What else is new? The Queen, she told Variety magazine in a hastily arranged interview, was the most shining example of female leadership. You guys, it makes me nauseous to even read that. The way she treated the Queen at the end, the way they both did, treated the Queen at the end, and then to try to say something like this so she appears less of a monster, I guess. Disgusting. Noticeably, she had refused to acknowledge that accolade in her Vogue issue, Forces for Change, in 2019. So remember, she was the self-promoted guest editor of that issue in 2019. And, of course, the Queen had been omitted from the list of, quote, 15 brilliant female change makers. Now, just a reminder, One of the people she did put on the list was the woman who cast her in Suits. You cannot make this stuff up, but omitted the Queen. Okay. Post-funeral, claiming to be, quote, proud of the warmth of her close relationship with the Queen. So again, these two, it's just their truth. I'm using big, giant, sarcastic quotations around that because it's not the truth. It's whatever they want to make up at the time. So Meghan forgot to mention that she had only traveled once with the monarch. Yet in the interview about herself, illustrated by a photo that showed her lying on her stomach, kicking her legs in the air, she blurted, "I feel deep gratitude to have been able to spend time with her and to get to know her." You guys, you can't even make this stuff up. The other thing that's popping in my mind as I've read as I'm reading these lies, is the same story that I'm sure you're familiar with too. I've heard allegedly that Meghan had told the Queen to drop dead. There are no words. It's so rare that I'm speechless, but that'll do it. That is, I mean, why do these two still have titles? Why are they? Okay. Composure. Here we go. The Queen never appeared to reciprocate that statement. Meghan's acknowledgement of this was her admission to Variety that her visit to Britain was a, quote, complicated time. Meghan's misfortune was that while some magazines indulged her self-promotion, that seems to be, again, this is my side, that seems to be the press in general. They just love to go along with whatever she said, whatever self-promotion's going on. Again, even right now with what's going on with this quote-unquote car chase, we're seeing it. Yes, a lot more people are waking up, but still, mainstream media, some of them are still going right along with her self-promotion, both of their boosting tales of near catastrophic car chase. Ugh, disgusting. Okay, so the public was becoming less interested. Ha, 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 ha. I'm a grown-up. An accompanied Variety video featuring her master recipe for, quote, solid bolognese sauce attracted 2,600 likes and 18,000 thumbs down. Did you know that? I didn't know that. Let me read that again. Okay, so remember that stupid Variety article she did? Apparently there was a video featuring her, quote, master recipe for solid bolognese sauce. I thought she was vegan. Okay. It attracted 2,600 likes, bots, and 18,000 thumbs down. I love it. America was divided. Sounds like it wasn't. But that still left a substantial number who admired Meghan. Again, Tom Bauer, what are you drinking? I'm not seeing it like that. I'm thinking it's a few people with access to bots and loud voices, that are pretending to like, or that are, the sugars that are liking Meghan. Everybody else with a brain is realizing, oh yeah, they're awful people. So to please her supporters, the Sussexes gave $1 million to, I've never heard of this, Ving, V-I-N-G, a charity for women in need. However, they revised the original pledge to donate most of the book earnings to charity with a pledge that Harry was, quote, hoping to support British charities. What? Again, what? To prove their importance, they issued a color photo of themselves posing as a power couple to counter Buckingham Palace's photo of the king, queen consort, and the Cambridges posing together as the new Fab Four. So to impress their American fans, it was agreed that remember the RFK Human Rights Foundation should award the couple the Robert F. Kennedy Ripple of Hope Award. You guys, it's that bullshit award for fighting racism where she wore that stupid folded over white dress. You know the one. Apparently, did you know this? Tickets cost up to $1 million. They would be praised for their, quote, moral courage for making a, quote, lifelong commitment to building strong, equitable communities. You guys, you cannot make this stuff up. It's idiots giving other idiots awards, and we continue to see this happen. They were awarded for, quote, my God, racial justice and mental health. The Sussexes were praised at the ceremony hosted by Carrie Kennedy, Robert's daughter, for having the courage to challenge the royal family's power structure. especially the family structural racism. You guys, I'm so pissed just rereading this. I was pissed at the time. I'm pissed again. And you know what? You know what else this is doing? This is a good thing. Sometimes I forget that I hate him too. I always know I dislike him. Talking about Harry. But then I remember, oh yeah, it's shit like this. No, I hate that guy. I hate him too. Okay. You guys, breathe. Okay. So the scandal that Harry had adopted Meghan's inaccurate version in the Oprah Winfrey interview of his own conversation with Charles and Camilla about his child's potential appearance. Now, I would like to remind you that in that same interview, they actually contradict each other about when and how that conversation occurred. But he started taking on her version of events because, of course, has no balls would, right? Previous winners of this prize included Presidents Clinton, Obama, Biden. Curiously, the ceremony would be held just days before the Cambridges visited Boston to be honored for their work in establishing the prestigious Earthshot Prize. Yet, despite all their efforts, the Sussexes struggled to prosper as A-listers. Haha. The former C-list actress, I would say still? Well, she's not an actress, but you know what I mean. Now unable to be cast in a film, could not afford the lifestyle of an A-lister. Her skill was to appear undaunted. That does seem to be a skill of both of theirs. All the negative publicity, they pretend to be undaunted. And display conviction that the world was interested in her thoughts. Jeez. Accordingly, you know what? I don't think that's a display. I think she genuinely thinks that the world is interested in her thoughts. Accordingly, Meghan addressed the Women's Fund in Indianapolis. The same venue in 2018, Michelle Obama attracted a sellout 13,000 member audience. Meghan attracted fewer than 2,000 people to hear a speech about her favorite topic, herself. Again, I say look to the bullshit award they just got, Gold Dress, where she talked about herself. Similar disappointment hit her Spotify series extolling modern women. Meghan described her, quote, candid interviews with Mariah Carey, Constance Wu, Sophie Trudeau, Paris Hilton as, quote, looking at the nuances, digging deeper to display her self-awareness. My God, the fact that she would preach to anybody about self-awareness when she literally has none of it, it just, again, shows her lack of self-awareness. See, you can't make this stuff up. Okay. She added that her show was, quote, really about dissecting and unboxing these labels, these tropes that try to hold women back and define women as one note. I'm sorry, the only one that's being awful to women seems to be Meghan Markle. Again, have we forgotten the bullying accusations? Have we forgotten the teeth throwing? Have we forgotten all of it? Have you forgotten how you treated the queen? Nope, me neither. Okay. Her audience, she had hoped, would accept her, quote, humanitization, ooh, that's a hard word, and conclude, oh, Meghan's a real person. Instead, after the first podcast, none featured in Spotify's top 100, although later ratings published by Spotify curiously gyrated between 77 and even 22 on the chart. Rather, this shows the generated caustic mirth that so-called interviews were in reality an opportunity to talk about herself. We've talked about this. Now, what I heard about that podcast is that somebody else actually did the actual interviews with the guest stars. Meghan would just, whatever, prance on in, talk about herself for however long, and then they'd cut in and act like she had interviewed the guests. You guys, my God. My God, the level of self-importance. In one podcast, she damned her experience of the 34 episodes of Deal or No Deal. I don't know when this video comes out, but I just did a deep dive into that, so check for that. I go into it about the Deal or No Deal, where she said that they objectified her as a bimbo. My God. Okay, so she basically says they only were into her beauty, not her brains. She also, by the way, side note, you'll see it in the video. If it hasn't gone up already, it'll be going up soon. She complains that they made her get a spray tan, you guys. She would never get a spray tan. Oh, wait. Weaponized spray tan, basically. Okay. She forgot to mention in her newly appointed fact checker failed to signal that thanks to the show, she'd befriended Brett Ratner, the Hollywood film producer, and as a return favor, he cast her in Horrible Bosses, which helped her secure her part in Suits. See how that worked out for her? Also, I believe Brett Ratner ended up being accused of some heinous things. So, good friendship, Meghan. Meghan's appeal depended on ignoring the truth. Just be yourself, no matter what. Any societal framework or archetype or loud voice coming from a small place tells you that you should be, end quote. She advised in a podcast about demystifying the, quote, dragon lady. In another, quote, the decoding of crazy, she denounced those unidentifiable people who called her crazy, hysterical, nuts, and insane. I would say your actions are speaking louder than the words. Look at your behavior. I would say that those fit pretty well. The description of, quote, difficult, she said, was a code word for bitch. If the bitch face fits. Used to gaslight strong women. I would agree in some instances, not in this instance. I think she's earned that nickname and seems to wear it proudly. Her solution for survival was to ask her what was the best for myself instead of trying to please everyone else. Oh, we know, Meghan, you're all about yourself. Okay, and then the last paragraph of this extra chapter, here we go. Narcissism had fueled her route to fame. Unexpectedly, Meghan's life now mirrored the, quote, Deal or No Deal show. Presented with a choice, she had decided not to play safe. She chose not to live any other way. The new year, 2023, would be her make or break. There was no return from the high-risk stakes. If the public applauded both her Netflix series and Harry's memoir, the Sussexes would be richer and undeniably established as Hollywood celebrities. I'm laughing because we know how that turns out. But if their gamble misfired, attracting public hostility and Charles's retaliation, their future would be bleak. The global audience eagerly awaited the outcome. As a fighter, she was strong. As a vulnerable woman, she would be devastated by defeat. Either way, there would be an intriguing sequel to her rise in fame and fortune. And that's how the chapter ends. Now let's talk about it, you guys. All right. I'm taking a deep breath and I'm thinking, I like Tom Bower. I love his book. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I even enjoyed this bonus chapter. I know he's been annoying lately. I've seen the interviews. I've posted some of the interviews where he seems to have an MO where he's trying to take down Charles. It's weird. I assume it's just to sell books. Who cares? I enjoyed this chapter. I enjoyed revisiting revenge. I enjoyed, again, it reignited something in me to remember why we keep talking about them, and not in the way that they want to. Not like, oh, look at me. It's more, let's call attention. Let's call out this horrible behavior to everybody, especially the Queen and to Catherine. But it's just, I'm left wanting. I was promised I'd find out where Doria was. Where's that at? You guys heard that too, right? Where's that? I know, I've heard it. I know you'll leave me comments. It's fine. I've heard the rumors of where Doria is, but I thought the deal was that Tom Bower was supposed to talk about that. Was he afraid of getting sued? What's the problem? Why didn't he go into that? Where was Doria? Finding Doria. But yeah, I needed to hear more about that. And while this, was interesting, it still, I feel like it left some stuff out. I still want to know more. So, I don't know. I'm glad I read it, but I want to know more. Where was Doria? Talk about that. What happened there? What other behind the scenes information you got, Tom Bower? I'm going to need another book. Anyway, so that's it for me. Let me know your thoughts on this. Let me know if you're feeling the same way as me, enraged all over again, but also, what the heck, Tom Bower? Where's the rest of that? I need to know more. But as always, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Thank you for watching and supporting. To further support, of course, check out the merch. We got recollections may vary, make it make sense. In a world of in a world of Meghan's, good Lord, be a Catherine, much better. And then also check out Patreon. Patreon.com/Real Housewives Recaps. That's where you can become an executive producer and get your shout out. Speaking of which, I'm going to shout out my executive producers now. So a huge thank you to Linda. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you to Paige. Huge thank you to Teresa. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Kay. Thank you, Shauna. Thank you, Brenda. Thank you, Aaron and Frank. Thank you, Kristen. Thank you, Ann M. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you, Ann H. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Glynis. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Patty. Thank you, Adair Becker. Thank you to Erica. Thank you, Amber. Thank you, Annette. Thank you, Barb G. Thank you to Diana. Thank you, Allison B. Thank you, Jean. Thank you, Lori. Thank you to Pauline. Thank you to KT. Thank you, Jolene. Thank you, Stromboli. Thank you, Catherine. Thank you, Loie. Thank you, Lucy H. Thank you to Georgia. Thank you, Susie. Thank you, Nikki. Thank you, Robbins Landing. Thank you to Helen. Thank you to Mara. Thank you, Ashley C. Thank you to Molly. Thank you, Amber. Thank you, Ashley. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Sand Squid. Thank you to Rach. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Leslie. Thank you, Dee Dee. Thank you, Nina. Thank you, Heather. Thank you, Tracy. Thank you, Penny. Thank you, Domby. Thank you, Android P. Thank you to Sheena. Thank you, Aaron M. Thank you, Faye. Thank you, Judith. Thank you, Spectrum Mom. Thank you, Vanessa B. Thank you, Christy. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Mimi Heathcote. Thank you, Misty. Thank you, Candy. Thank you, Anita. Thank you, Leslie. Thank you to Bree. Thank you, Sandra. Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you to Elvis Rose here on YouTube. And thank you to Lori. Well, I so appreciate you all. Thank you if you are on the Patreon. Thank you if you're an executive producer. And hey, if you're not, definitely check it out. We have a lot of fun over there. Guys, I hope you have the best day, and I will talk to you again soon. Can't wait to bring you another video like this. Take care. Bye-bye.